Okay, good morning everyone. Today, let us revisit itong tinatawag nating concentric zone model. Ayan. So the concentric zone model is a kind of a theory that try to explain the existence of crime, okay, and the varying crime rate in a certain place according to the social distribution. So yung distribution na tinitignan natin dito is yung sa nakafocus siya doon sa ating lugar. Okay? So, have you ever wondered kung bakit or kung saan mas magandang tumira, saan mas magandang saan mas marami ang crime sa ating lugar, 'di ba? Meron tayong mga places kasi, may mga lugar tayo talaga na hotspot o yung tinatawag nating crime hotspot or maraming mga crime ang nakukomit doon sa isang lugar na yan. Okay? So, how could we actually identify kung saan potentially magkakaroon ng crime hotspot, saan mas marami ang crime at saan mas kokonti ang crime? No? To understand that better, I'm going to use the concentric zone model. This is a model developed by Ernest Bergs, na pinopose niya that the urban patterns in this society actually affects the criminality. So what you can see on my presentation right now is the same model na ginawa ni Ernest Bergs in trying to explain criminality according to this social distribution. Okay? So, under the concentric zone model, nahahati-hati ito sa different zones. Yung concentric rings na tinatawag natin o yung mga pabilog na yan, yan yung mga tinatawag natin concentric rings, and there is also are the zones. Okay? So, makikita nyo, ang zone 1 natin, we start counting at the most inner ring, which is yun yung magiging 1 natin. So, yung zone 1 natin dyan, ay yung mga area where most of the business infrastructures, business buildings are located. So, it is the center of a certain place. So, lagi yung sentro, yung pinakasentro ng lugar ng isang lugar, ng isang urban cities. Yun yung tinatawag nating zone 1. Okay? Kung saan natin makikita yung mga different buildings, different businesses, malalaking businesses, government offices, and so on. So, yun yung pinaka-zone 1 natin. Now, susunod dyan yung ating zone 2, o yung tinatawag nating transition zone, wherein nagkakaroon na ng paghahalo, kumbaga yung tinatawag nating mga industries, buildings, factories with some housing. So, if you move out a little bit from the central business district, dun sa pinakasentro ng isang lugar, if you move out a little bit from that place, papasok pa naman dun sa tinatawag nating zone 1 na kung saan may mga residential areas na siya, at as well as meron pa rin mga tinatawag nating mga industries or mga buildings and facilities. Okay? Then the zone 2, so zone 3 rather. Zone 3, nagkakaroon na tayo dyan ng tinatawag nating residential. Mostly, it is residential, Karamihan na po dyan is mga residential, puro bahay-bahay na, So, if you move a little bit, from the zone 2, papasok ka naman doon sa zone 3, wherein dominantly, ang mga structure na makikita mo doon are purely residential, So, more on residential na siya. Okay? Then, if you move out a little bit from the zone 3, papasok ka doon naman sa tinatawag nating still residential siya, residential siya. Pero, sa zone 4, mostly ang nakatira dito is yung mga belonging to the middle class. Okay? So, they have, hindi naman sa, pero middle class often chooses to live doon sa tinatawag nating zone 4 kasi tingnan mo, zone 1 populated and a lot of pollution kasi talagang dyan pinakasentro. Then if you move out a little bit, doon ka naman papasok sa tinatawag nating zone Zone 2, di ba? Transition zone. Transition zone yan. May mga housing, may mga housing at merong mga tinatawag nating business establishments. Okay? So, nandun pa rin yung tinatawag nating overpopulated, no? Maraming tao, magulo, okay? And definitely polluted din yung ating area. Okay? Pag move out natin, residential yon, residential, which usually, no, dominant naman ang residential area dito, pero most of the people living under zone 3 is yung mga kumbaga belonging to the working classes, no? Working classes. Okay? So sila yung mga from other places, no? Na pupunta sa isang lugar para doon sila maghanap ng opportunities, no? So may mga makikita tayo dito ng mga squatter areas and so on. So 'di ba, parang belonging to the poor, no? Or there might be residential areas around zone 3 that belonging to the rich but are rented by the middle class, the lower class, no? Parang ganun siya. So because they're the working class, now if you are working, you don't want to travel, no, too far from your work. Okay? Hindi mo naman siya afford hindi mo afford, no, mag-travel back and forth, no, doon sa place of residence mo or kung saan ka nangungupahan papunta sa work mo. So basically, no, mga rentals yan, mga rental na residence itong mga to. So ang karamihang nakatira dyan are the working class. Sa zone 4, medyo spacious na siya, no? Medyo spacious na siya. Say for example, the existence of subdivision, di ba? So itong mga sa subdivision na to, hindi naman ito located doon sa pinakasentro, madalas, no? So sila ay madalas makikita natin ng zone 4, no? Zone 4, itong mga subdivisions na ito, and karamihan naman ng mga nakaka-afford to have a property over a subdivision, no, ay do yung mga tinatawag nating middle class, no, the business persons. Okay? And the zone 5, yan na yung farthest from the central business district, no, na kung saan, no, some homes na mga exclusive, no, areas and yung mga tinatawag nating mga expensive housing, no, 'di ba? Kasi yung mga mayayaman, they don't want to live in the cities, no? They usually live, no, far from the cities, no? Of course, para magkaroon tayo ng peace, no? Peaceful environment, magkaroon sila ng mas pollution-free environment. So usually mayayaman, they don't want to live doon sa pinaka sentro. They want to live somewhere else na kung saan malayo na tayo sa pollution, malayo sa ingay, malayo sa kaguluhan. Okay, so I explained to you already the different zones, no, under concentric zone model. What's the relevance of these zones in criminality? Okay, so the common principle of concentric zone model, no, is the closer you are to the core of the concentric zone, no, the more na mas malapit ka doon sa pinakasentro ng concentric zone na yan na pinag-uusapan natin, no? So ibig sabihin, kung ikaw ay malapit sa zone 1, the higher the crime rate in that area, no? So in terms of social disorganization, okay, kasi pwede nating i-connect ang social disorganization under concentric zone model, no? Mas disorganize ang community or ang society, no, the closer you are to the zone 1. Ibig sabihin, no, that mas mataas ang crime, no, na nako-commit, yung crime rate na nako-commit sa zone 1. Okay? And closer you are to zone 1, zone 2 mataas pa rin yan, pero definitely mas mataas sa zone 1. Palayo ka ng palayo, no, mas kokonti na yung nako-commit na crime doon sa area ninyo. Okay? So, that is also the reason why, no, under zone 5, yung mga karamihang mayayaman, they don't want to live, no, near the zone 1, yung pinaka-core natin. Bakit? Kasi aside from pollution, aside from aside from the pollution, aside from it is very expensive to live there, no, the other reason also is that because there are a lot of crime happening in that zone. Okay? Pagdating mo naman sa zone 2, since transition yan may residential, may industries. Okay? So, population, di ba? Population distribution din pala ito, no? So, mas madami ang population natin around zone 1, no? Then zone 2 palit na siya ng palit hanggang sa zone 5, medyo mas kukunti na sa zone 5. And we know the impact of population, no? We know the impact of population to criminality. That mas marami ang population, mas mataas din yung crime rate. So they're connected to each other, no? Zone 1, very populated yan, business area center, no? Core of the society. Kung sa city sana yan, yung pinaka-sentro, no? So, mas marami talagang tao doon, no? And most of them, no, ay migrants, immigrants, no? And workers, okay? So, a lot of opportunities there. Criminals would also want to go there because there are a lot of opportunity to commit their crime there. So, mas marami talaga ang crime doon. Okay? Same as true with Zone 2, no? Hindi man kasing rami ng crime na nako-commit under Zone 1, no? Zone 2, marami pa rin yan, no? Lalo na't naghalo na yung tinatawag nating industries, no? And residential area. Okay? Then, dito sa Zone 3, no, meron pa rin crime dyan, but the concept under concentric zone model is the farther you are, no, from the zone 1, from the core of the city, doon sa pinakasentro ng city, the lesser the crime or the lesser the disorder, the more organized the society becomes. Okay? So, it is likely that when we talk about the groupings of crime, no, kung saan mas marami ang crime na nakocommit, madalas makikita natin talaga ito sa pinakasentro, no, ng isang lugar. Why? Opportunities, no? Population, okay? And of course, no, since hindi naman magkakakilala ang lahat doon, socially disorganized sila pagdating sa zone 1. Okay? So, according to Ernest Briggs, no, there is always yung tinatawag nating urban patterns, no, that in a progressive place, no, a progressive place usually has this kind of pattern, no, in terms of criminality. So nakita niya na palagian pag progressive yung isang lugar, mas mataas talaga ang crime rate doon sa pinakasentro ng lugar na yan. And the farther you are from the center of that place, the city, the core of that place, the lesser the crime now that is being committed. Okay, so that is how concentric zone model explains the existence of crime according to the social distribution, according to the place, where people chooses to live, and so on. Okay, so I hope I was able to share some knowledge with regards to the concentric zone model. That's it for today. See you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.